Okay, let's do this video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Bwtm Sports. Starting up straight away, shout out to Danny Brown, the first member on Bwtm Sports. Yes, we've got to the point in life, in this new decade, that Bwtm Sports has signed up and is now trading as paid membership. So the paid membership starts as low as $2.99 a month. It might be $1.99 a month. So correct me if I'm wrong there. $2.99 a month, and what you get for that is that you'll be part of a unique team of just members only, exclusive footage, interviews. So you'll get the information before everyone else gets it. So that's what you get as a member. Obviously, fight breakdowns and stuff. There'll be less of that on the channel and more of that just dedicated to our members. I've always wanted to have a membership system, and now for Bwtm Sports, we should have a membership system. I think it's something that you need members, and you need to have a community, and we build the community from this. And from the money we do get back, we can start investing in other things, being able to go to certain press conferences or doing other things that would be the sort of things that sports fans and the people that watch this channel would want. So yeah, so people asking us for a where they can donate. Well, here's how you can make your donations. If you go to the YouTube channel itself, go up where the subscribe button is and look to the left hand side, you'll see a button called join. Also a part of that, when you join, you also will get a badge, and as long as you are, the longer you stay or you become a member, your badge goes up and you get different rewards and also different icons in the chat. So we'll have private chats as well, live commentary for fights that won't be open to everybody but just to members. So in that way, we kind of look after the community, and we have a better community from it as well. So that's what's going on. So get on board, be a part of Bwtm moving forward in 2020. Many great things are happening on the channel, so stay tuned. All right, so enough of that. Let's talk about our end of year review in 2019. Well, 2019 was one hell of a year, as Mayweather would say. I'm going to start it with this picture here. Manny Pacquiao, T-Rex on with Keith, once upon a time Thurman. Yes, Keith Thurman. This is what you get when you run your mouth and your body isn't quite ready for what your mouth has put out. And it was a gallant performance by Keith, but I said to everyone from when the fight was announced, there was no way he was beating Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao needs to be given all the credit in the world for, as old as he is, to be still fighting and still to be beating up on the young boys. Broner and Thurman, two top-rated welterweights, regardless of what you think of them, two top-rated welterweights this guy's run through and beat. So fair play to Manny Pacquiao. And they've called him fighter of the decade, of the decades, but the only problem I have with that is Mayweather was unbeaten for all those decades and never got knocked out at any point in time. So I do struggle with that. However, this is a fight here that was quite, the older fighter beating the younger fighter. It was, a lot of this stuff in boxing became more apparent to me in this year, more never studying sport in 2019, seeing all the tricks and the things that can be done. We knew Keith had come off an injury, coming back into the sport. Pacquiao picked him at the right time. Pacquiao and his team picked them at the right time. No excuses. Pacquiao was the better man on the night. I would like to see how Keith would have done injury-free in this situation. But anyway, beside the point, Pacquiao put in a great performance, and he needs to be given, all these pound-for-pound ratings, this guy needs to be given all the credit in the world for pound-for-pound ratings. Pacquiao's got to be up there. And how a person like Lomachenko is higher than Manny Pacquiao, I still don't get it. I don't think Pacquiao's ever been undisputed, but he certainly has fought better opposition for a longer period of time than Lomachenko. So let's just put it that way. So credit to Manny Pacquiao. So while I'm at it, while I'm talking, this end of year review will be shorter because, well, to be quite frank, there are not a lot of great things that happened in 2019, but the things that were great in 2019, that's really what I'm focusing on. I've got to give shout outs to the Charlo brothers, One Charlo brother for losing the title and regaining the title. The other Charlo brother, Jamal and Jamal, got a lot of time for them. Love them as fighters, exciting. I love Derek James as a trainer, done great work there. Who else? Errol Spence, of course. His fight with Sean Porter was one that was exciting. It was good to see Spence and Porter getting it on. Terence Crawford continuing to fight the way he does, to the point where now he fought Khan. We knew he was going to beat Khan. He fought what's his name again? The Green Machine. Nobody really cared. And it seems to me that Crawford's going to be fighting people that people really don't care about until he steps over and fights in PBC. So he'll be fighting people that we really don't care about in 2020 unless he starts fighting PBC. That's where all the heat is. That's where all the welterweights really are. And that's where Terence Crawford really needs to be in 2020. The best fight the best. Get over there and fight. Thurman's fought Garcia. He's fought Porter. Porter's fought Thurman. He's fought Spence. Why are you not in the mix there? You know, Danny Garcia's been a part of the mix. Thurman's been a part of the mix. Errol Spence has joined in, you know, by fighting Porter. So the welterweights, you need to get yourself over there. Manny Pacquiao's over there, you know, so you need to join PBC or somehow or the other. Look, Deontay Wilder has crossed over and he's fighting top-ranked fighter, which is Tyson Fury. So there really is no excuses. Either Bud wants it or he doesn't. I think, you know, you're in the welterweight division. You're a WBO champion. You want to be recognised and fight people that will test you. No more of these pulling people up from other weight divisions or fighting people that nobody really cares about. Get a fight with Ray Robinson. That's a fight I'd like to see you in against a guy who's got a very good high skill set. Let's see how you do with that. Ray Robinson will open his mouth and promote that fight. You know, this is not a disrespect to Terence Crawford, but he's not a guy that you can sit down and listen to promote a fight. So he needs a dance partner. He needs a dance partner. He needs a Porter. He needs a Spence. He needs a Thurman. He needs a Pacquiao. He needs a superstar beside him now. You know. But yeah, he's done well, Spence, this year. It's unfortunate what happened with him with the drink driving situation, but there has been concerns about Errol Spence previous to that because we've seen him drunk before at fights, and of course there is always concerns with a young fighter when every time you've seen him he's completely drunk. And it's not the first time we've seen Spence on camera or going press conferences drunk. Has he got an alcohol problem there? I don't know, but it's certainly something that his handlers need to look at. There's a difference between you having fun and enjoying and relaxing yourself to the point where you're in a car crash. There are things that are concerning me about Errol Spence in his career, and that is something that is, as a potential superstar fighter, that is something that needs to be attended to. Same with our friend Gervonta Davis. Good fighter, not a superstar in my eyes. Could become a superstar, but because you're attached to Floyd Mayweather, that doesn't automatically equal you being a superstar. You've got to put the work in, and fighting once a year, missing the weight, and out of shape when you're at the gym. Them sort of things do not, for me, equal being a superstar. It just means you're a good fighter that can punch a bit, but you're no superstar. A superstar's consistent, fighting top-level fighters all the time. Now, you talk about being pay-per-view in 2020, fighting who? You fought Gamboa. And I said to people before that Gervonta Davis isn't as great as people are making him out to be. And that's because I think, because of all the different promotions that everyone say they've got the best fighter. So a guy who's decent is good, a guy that's good is great, and a great fighter becomes legendary just because they're trying to put that little bit of sauce on the top to say they've got the best fighters each and every time. That's what's going on. So yeah, that's really where I see it there. Again, shout out to Tony Harrison becoming champion, beating Charlo. Charlo coming back and winning the title. Shout out to him for that. Notable mentions also. Josh Taylor, the World Boxing Super Series. Congratulations to him winning the World Boxing Super Series, fighting the best possible fighters around at the time to win that. Well done, congratulations. So well done for that. The rise of Dillian Whyte continuing. Tough year for him, 2019. Did the business. So all the best for him for 2020. But I really want to really focus and move this conversation on to three people in the heavyweight in the division. I've just given it away slightly, but these are the three people I'm focusing on for 2019. These are the three people, the three kings, if you want to call them. These are the three kings, the heavyweight division. To the left, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. The middle, Anthony Joshua. And at the end, Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber. Now, first of all, let's talk about Tyson Fury. His comeback in 2019, the Pianetta fight, the Safa Seferi fight, and then, obviously him coming back and fighting Deontay Wilder. We weren't expecting that to happen so quickly. Although I did say in my preview to Tyson Fury's comeback, I hope they didn't rush him and let him have two fights against nobodies and get him a world title fight. Well, that's exactly what happened. And Fury was looking up at the lights twice in that fight, yet a lot of people called it a masterclass. Fury, since his 2019 has gone on, in my opinion, he has made a great comeback. I'll give him that. He's made a great comeback, fighting the most deadliest, most powerful puncher in the heavyweight division, fighting the most explosive fighter in world boxing today, the hardest puncher in world boxing today, and the most electrifying man in world boxing today, which is Deontay Wilder. But Tyson Fury, to his credit, has come back in 2019. I'll call that one of the comebacks of the year. And he has not only come back, he's not just come back, he's gone over and above, because he's gone also and done the WWE thing. On one side, you could say that's fantastic because he's given boxing, he's taken boxing to another genre, which is the wrestling world. And of course, that's going to bring promotion to the Wilder rematch. That's fantastic in that sense. Of course, that brings ridicule as well, Tyson Fury, when you decide to go around and say, well, you ridicule the guy who's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, but your last fight was a guy, you were in a ring against a guy who's pretending to fight, and you were both dressed in tights. So really and truly, when you come out and make statements like that, it's quite contradictory, as typical of Tyson Fury to be. The man in the middle, Anthony Joshua, well, what a year he's had. Getting literally knocked down and beaten around the ring by Andy Ruiz, humiliated in America, coming back and boxing in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and beating Andy Ruiz. The performance for me was tarnished by the fact that Ruiz didn't come in shape, and I kind of wonder, with the way boxing is today, whether Ruiz knew early on it was never his destiny to keep those belts, and it was just a case of him getting paid off, and the belts were bought and were handed back to Anthony Joshua. The motivation to beat Anthony Joshua seemed not there. He seemed to eat himself out of the division, and it's a shame, which made Joshua's performance, the adjustment Joshua made, the way he was able to change his whole boxing style in the rematch was quite astounding. I don't think people are giving enough credit to it. He looked like a mentally broken and beaten man. He came back, and regardless of how he got the job done, he got the job done. You can call it boring, you can call it what you want. People saying he should have retired. I was one of those guys who said he should never have taken the rematch. Hey, didn't listen to us, and he became heavyweight champion of the world again. So really and truly, in that sense, you have to give Anthony Joshua again credit for a great comeback. Maybe a greater comeback than Fury's, because Fury came back and did the whole WWE thing. He got up from 2 knockdowns, and he's going to have a rematch with Wilder. Great, but Joshua went to America, got beaten around the ring, got humiliated, had to take a lot of stick from a lot of people, came back and became heavyweight champion of the world again. That's the perfect way to silence your critics in a sense. So for a comeback, for man of the year and comeback of the year, I've got to give it to Anthony Joshua. So that's why he comes into the picture. And then you've got the man at the end, the king of the WBC, Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. I've said a long time ago about this man. I've said he's the most electrifying puncher, electrifying man in world boxing. And there is nobody in boxing that can generate the sort of energy that this man does. Nobody, no fighter. Nobody in the heavyweight division, nobody in the middleweight division, nobody in the welterweight division. There's nobody you can turn up to and watch and have it in your mind that they're going to end the fight like that. Nobody. Not at the highest level. No, you don't. This guy, at the highest level, he can turn your lights out like that. He can be behind the fight against a top quality opponent like that. He can put your lights out. And Deontay Wilder has shown it over and over again. He can't box, he windmills, he does this, he does that. His last 2 knockouts were by straight punches, clean knockouts, clean, one shot, bang, good night. Laid the guys out flat. Dominic Brazil and Luis Ortiz in a rematch. I commentated on Luis Ortiz rematch. I said to people in the Luis Ortiz rematch, it don't matter how fit he looks, it don't matter if he's dyed his hair. Wait until Wilder hits him in the right hand, and you'll see what happens. And you saw it once again. So, you know, it makes it tantalizing in 2020 now, looking forward to Fury Wilder 2. No press tour. I'm not surprised. If you look at how the first thing turned out, I think there's too much ego, too much machismo up there. And, you know, the budget probably has been for these 2 guys to get paid well. They probably think, you know what? Forget all the security. That's the best way to go about it. Forget all the security. You've seen the first fight. We don't need all the do the all press tour and spend the money with press tour. Let's just get it on for the fight. So I get it. I understand. You're getting a big fight. Be satisfied with that, boxing fans. I know you want your press conference, but nobody gets paid for press conferences. People get paid to see fights. If you want pay-per-view press conferences, then fine. But the way it is, I'm quite happy. I'm getting Fury versus Wilder 2. That's what I want to see. Press conferences, as you know, we can say all we want of press conferences. Ultimately, T. Thurman said a lot at a press conference to Manny Pacquiao, but ultimately, we saw the result. Again, 2019 was full of results where you thought, what the hell is going on here? A lot of fights where you could potentially say they were fixed, business deals, same old lying promoters doing the same old lying, and same old fans believing that the promoter is talking the gospel of truth, and same old media outlets reporting the same old boring news in 2019. I hope in 2020 that media outlets will start to pull their fingers out the arse and start to ask proper questions in the positions that they're in, instead of risking the position that they have because they can get free seats to watch fights or to get buddy with boxers. I hope they ask some meaningful questions, because then when you ask meaningful questions, we can open up meaningful debates with promoters, with managers and fighters, instead of being buddy-buddy. We've seen again as well the biasness that is with certain boxing writers, that promoters, like I said before, do pay for boxing writers to attend events, and with that there is an element of biasness. So when you read from certain boxing panels or certain boxing forums, be guaranteed that those people that are doing the writing and the blogging and tweeting are tweeting with agendas, with promoter agendas. Get it through your heads. That's how it is. Unfortunately, that's just the way the sport of boxing is. Just see past the illusion. See past the illusion. But these 3 guys are the 3 guys that dominate my 2019. For Wilder, destructive one-punch knockout results. For Joshua, a man that has attracted as much criticism as he has fandom. And with Fury, well, he's gone completely outside the box and joined the WWE. So, interesting, intriguing. You can match it up any which way. Joshua saying he'll fight Wilder in 2020 with or without the belts. Joshua and Fury are talking about sparring one another in 2020. It's quite hilarious. And they'll spar one another to prepare for this man at the end. So it's really, the 2 Brits have the greatest comeback stories, and the most devastating man is on the other side of the water with Deontay Wilder. In 2020, I wonder if these 3 men again will be in my 2020 review. Very interesting going into 2020. What will happen? We know that Fury is unbeaten. We know that Wilder's unbeaten. We know that Joshua has now lost for the first time. What happens if one of these 2 guys lose their unbeaten record in 2020? How will they respond? And if any one of those 2 got knocked out in 2020, will they be able to bounce back like the man in the middle there, Anthony Joshua? This is going to be an interesting 2020. Let's see what happens. This is my review for 2020 or 2019 in 2020. It's a short review. It's not a long, in-depth review. But I hope for 2020 we get better refereeing decisions, less business deals in terms of boxing matches, less fake grudge matches, boxing reporters reporting on fighters and reporting them as they are quality fighters, and not begrudging them because of the colour of their skin, or begrudging them because they are a different promotion, but the fact that they are quality fighters. We need to uphold boxing, and we need to keep promoting our fighters rather than trying to knock every fighter that's around based on their colour or whatever. Franchise belts need to get out the window, be thrown, and people need to be fighting one another, and people need to stop being given great accolades like superstar and star fighter when they're fighting, you know, average fighters, or fighting people that we know they can beat, or fighting people that don't stand a chance. That does not make you a star. Make you a star is by fighting another guy who is a star themselves, and you beat that star to make you a star. I never knew you beat a nobody to become a star. I didn't get that. You know, you got to beat a somebody to be a somebody, right? So, you know, let's kind of be a bit more objective in 2020 moving forward, and less kissing the asses of these promoters and calling them out for the hypocritical behavior. One moment you're talking about drug use of drug fighters using drugs and PEDs, and the next minute you're promoting a whole load of fighters who have been reportedly or have been suspended for drug use. So what are you talking about? I don't get it. Yep, very interesting indeed. Very interesting, and I'm kind of glad to see Dillian White has been his situation has been sorted out by WBC, and he's been reinstalled. And I hope he does go after those people that were pulling his name into disrepute. It's people think that on Twitter or on YouTube we feel that we can just say what we want when we like how we feel, and I think it was about time that some boxers did take an action towards this behaviour. And if you don't have the facts and you're not speaking from a factual point of view and not just your own opinion, then I think that there needs to be some sort of because that is slanderous in certain ways, and I think that needs to be looked at as well. Right, I think that's about it from me for this review of 2019. And just on a last note for James Elibashir, it was a shame what happened in boxing for James Elibashir. There were people out there who actually condoned the actions of another injuring and hurting and almost a man dying in 2020 or 2019 based on some shenanigans. I think, you know, the boxing, so many people in boxing are just unbelievable. Nobody deserves to get cracked over the head with a weapon, or to the point where they're losing their teeth and almost losing their life. Nobody deserves that, and certainly not a trainer when he's trying to find out the weight of another fighter. It's totally unacceptable in my personal opinion. But anyway, I wish the Three Kings well in 2020, and I'm out of here. Again, don't forget, hit the join button on Bwtm Sports, and we'll see you on the other side. Take care.